Hey guys, today I'm filming my best of beauty for 2023. I have a ton of new products that I absolutely fell in love with this year. It's possible I may have forgot something. If so, I will have it in a pinned comment down below. And like most people, I'm only going to be talking about my favorites that I tried for the first time this year. I did recently post a video looking back at my yearly favorites from 2021. I feel like looking back at a video from 2 years ago is more helpful than 1 year ago, because most of the things from last year I still really loved, whereas from 2 years ago some of those products have been replaced by something else. And I did recently post a video sharing my favorite makeup that I panned this year, and for some of those products I loved them a ton, and I have some gaps missing in here because I was focusing on and loved so much of those other products. So again, check that out, especially for more complexion products and lips. That's usually what I pan, and I had a ton of absolute favorites for the lip products in particular, so I will have those videos linked. So let's just jump on in. For foundation, I have 3 products I really loved, 1 regular foundation and 2 skin tints. So I did try and fall in love with the skin tint last year, the L'Oreal True Match Nude Tinted Serum, but I've always felt like skin tints really wouldn't work for me because I'm too oily and I prefer a more full coverage matte finish. Well, I've sort of come around to it because once I put all the rest of my makeup on, it doesn't usually look super light coverage. But I've tried a ton this year, and there have been some that I really have not liked. Some I felt like were okay, but these 2 are definitely my favorites. So we have the Estee Lauder Double Wear Sheer. I have 1W1 Bone, and then the Too Faced Born This Way Healthy Glow in the shade Snow. And this has SPF of 19, pointless, and this has SPF of 30. But the reason that I really love the Double Wear is because even though it is a skin tint and this does have more of like a glowy finish, I always set my makeup, but I especially want to set this one pretty well because I like more of a matte look. But this is very long wearing. It's more long wearing than a lot of other skin tints that I've tried, which is where I really like this. And then for the Too Faced one, I was so nervous to try this because the Born This Way line is more hydrating, and the other products haven't worked the best for me, or I only like them certain times of year. But I heard some dry skin people say this was too drying for them, so I tried it out and it works really well for me. And I think that both of these give pretty decent coverage. I would say light medium, which looks really beautiful. These are both very long wearing, look nice on the skin, and I like the bit more of a lightweight consistency and feel on the skin. And then my actual foundation favorite was the KVD Good Apple Full Coverage Serum. I have the shade Light 008. This is a pretty good match for me. And I really love this foundation because it does give you that full coverage with a serum consistency, so it does not feel heavy and cakey on the skin. This is so different from their Lock It Tattoo foundation, which was super heavy. So I love that there is a way for me to get that full coverage that I like without feeling so heavy. There have been some other foundations I tried this year that were good, that gave lots of coverage but felt a bit heavier on the skin. This is so good. I love the concealer as well. I mentioned that one in last year's favorite. So if you're looking for a skin tint, love these. Regular foundation, love this. And I really feel like you don't have to have oily skin to wear these. I think they would work well with a lot of people. Maybe not dry skin for this one, maybe not for this one either, but really nice products. Then we have some cream bronzers. So I had quite a few favorites last year, I believe, but I've got 4 more faves for this year as well. First is from M Cosmetics. This is their So Soft. Last year I think I mentioned the bronzer stick Summer, but this is the lightest, more cool tone contour color in Terra. And this is a perfect tone for me. I did use this to contour today. I just contour here in my cheekbone area, but this is a great formula. It is very pigmented, it blends out nicely, and I really do like this. This is a great cool tone color without looking too gray or muddy. It just is like the perfect shade for me. And then Persona came out with a new shade in their bronzer stick in the shade Mojave, which is a bit more neutral tone on me, and I think it looks so beautiful. So far this month I've been pairing these two together and I think it looks so nice. This is a bit thinner of a consistency, a little bit creamier, slippier than the Cosmetics, but they work really nicely together. This is such a good color. I've always loved the formula and I wanted to love Doom, but it was a little too orangey. This one is just absolutely perfect and it shows up on my skin, but it's not too deep. So if you have fair skin, highly recommend that. Then some other faves from earlier in the year, the Tower 28 Sculptino in the shade Broad. This is the lightest out of the 4 shades. These are supposed to be more contouring type of colors. They got tons of feedback from people that they're not contour colors, they're not cool tone, and it's not. You can see this is a very neutral shade, leaning a little bit warm, and basically there's no shimmer in here where their Bronzinos have shimmer, which I used one of those in spring and liked it as well, but I think this one is really nice. I would love to try to pan this because I've seen people get through it pretty quickly. It is 4.5 grams or 0.16 ounces, but you guys know I have a lot of stuff I want to pan. And then this is the Patrick Ta Cream Contour and Powder Bronzer Duo in one of the new shades She's Bronzed. I believe She's Sculpted was in last year's favorites, so you have a more warm tone shade this time, and I think it still looks beautiful. This is not too orangey on me. It's a fantastic undertone, a great depth for my skin, and I love that the powder bronzer is a little bit more sheer because this is, you know, intended to be layered up, and if it was just as pigmented, you would look like a crazy person. So I really like this formula and the color is very pretty. Then we're on to blush. There were a few others that I thought about including, but I was really like, no, these are my favorites. And then my blushes from last year, I think all of them are still like absolute faves for me. So you guys probably will not be surprised. I loved my RMS blushes this year. The Redimension Hydra Powder blushes. I have the original 5. Oh, I'm missing one. There's an original 6 and then they added 3 new shades, and then there was another color, Bermuda Rose, that was in a set. Now it's sold individually, so I do want to pick that one up as well, and then I will have them all. But the color that I'm missing, I'll have to put a picture on the screen, is Hanky Panky. That was probably my least favorite out of all of these because it's not the best match for my skin tone, but I was able to get a few of these for a really good price, so I just had to complete the collection. So I do not like traditionally big gelée formulas. I find them very hard to work with and pick up on a brush, especially for bronzers and highlighters. But for blushes, I had no problem with this. I just use more of a dense angled blush brush and it picks up nicely. These do have a nice luminescence on the skin. I don't think they look overly shimmery. They're so beautiful. So this one I've used a ton is one of the new shades, Crystal Slipper. This is very similar to MAC Warm Soul, the original. Then we have Bohemian Girl, Cur Royale. And then these are 5 of the 6 original shades. Maiden's Blush, which is a little bit pinkier and deeper than Crystal Slipper. I love this one. Mai Tai, French Rosé, Pomegranate Fizz, and Sangria, which was the first one that I purchased. So I do find this to be a very, very buildable formula and just looks beautiful on the skin. And then I guess I only have 2 other blush favorites. This is something from earlier in the year. Last year I had mentioned a few of the Benefit blushes, and this is the color Moon. Really intense for my skin tone, but I just go with a light hand. This is such a stunning color. Again, this would be gorgeous on medium tan, deep skin tones. Oof, and just a great pigmented formula. I didn't want to love this because these are crazy expensive, but this is the Haus Labs Color Fuse Blush in Pomelo Peach. Just a stunning matte peach shade. I have a lot of peach blushes, but this one is somehow a little bit different. Then for highlighter, I have 2 favorites. You guys have heard me talk about this one a lot recently. The Cali Ray Highlight in Starlight Beach. Unfortunately, there are only 2 shades. The other one is more of a yellow gold that's too dark for me. This one, you can see here in the shade, looks like it would be too dark, but because of the reflect, I think it works quite nice. I've never looked in the mirror in anywhere, outside, anywhere, and felt like, yikes, that does not look good. This has such a beautiful reflect. It's a smooth finish. Great formula. I would love for them to come out with a lot more shades. It is so good. It does have a pretty intense glow, which I still am a fan of. I hope that's going to come back around. This is a beautiful, like, icy rose gold, sort of taupey pink. I know that sounds weird, but it's so good. I was not sure at first, and then I just fell in love. And then we have the Hills from Ofra. I love the Ofra highlight formula. I have several of them. This was released as a lighter version of Rodeo Drive, and I'm so glad because that's a really nice gold tone highlight that's just too dark for me. This one is perfect. It is like a really nice champagne-y gold color. My top 3 highlighter formula, so really happy that I have that shade. Then moving on to eyes, I have one brow product. It is all used up, so you won't really be able to tell very well, but I didn't want to forget to talk about it. This is the Kosas Brow Pop Dual Action Defining Pencil. So this has more of like a triangle tip, but I love the size of this because Goof Proof for me is too big to line and fill my brows. This one, I can do it all with just one pencil, where my everyday routine has 2 pencils, so I love that. I have Honey Blonde, which is a great shade for me. The only issue I ever had is I felt like my other makeup would sort of bunch up with this brow pencil, but it could have just been the other things I was using at the time. So definitely something I want to repurchase in the future. I do think that this is really good. Very cute packaging, and there is spoolie on the other side. I had so many favorites this spring. I had so many single shadows that I was loving. A lot of them are repeat faves, but I have a couple of new ones. First, this is the MAC Dazzle Shadow in Last Dance. Justin picked this out for me for our anniversary, and I mean, I know the sales gal helped him, but this is such a gorgeous duochrome shade, very sparkly. And then from Kaja, I have one of their eyeshadow stacks in Peach Madeline. I love this one. There are several different formulas within their stacks, and I just think this is one of the best. So this is more of a chunky shimmer, but I still feel like it applies quite nicely on the lid. Then you have more of their traditional shimmer, which is quite nice and glittery, and then you have a really pretty peachy matte. Absolutely, I love this. So now for the palettes. Some of these I loved the entire palette. Some of them, there were a couple looks that I absolutely fell in love with. I will try my best to link makeup of the days for these down below. Maybe not with every single look, but with my favorite looks. What's Up Beauty Dragon Eye Palette. Incredible formula. Such amazing duochromes, great mattes. I loved every look that I created with this one. Every shade in here is amazing. Adept Cosmetics Minka Palette, Sigma New Mod, Kaleidos Electro Turquoise, Kaleidos Sashimi City. The shimmers are both duochromes. It's Belle Cosmetics Pixie Grove, Adept Cosmetics House of L, Fantasy Cosmetica Bard, Fantasy Cosmetica Robe, mostly for the shimmers, Sugar Drizzle Sugar Dreams, It's Belle Cosmetics Cool Summer, Natasha Denona My Dream, Natasha Denona Yucca, and Give Me Glow Cosmetics 2 Moods. I definitely get more from Give Me Glow. I was blown away by this formula. These shades are amazing, really great pigmented mattes, but the shimmers are insane. And then I have some pencil liners to talk about. So last year I mentioned 2 more neutral shades of the Nabla liners, but in 2023 I tried out the lavender shade and the mint shade. Unfortunately, these are not available anymore except on a set on Nabla's website. I would love for them to bring them back because they have a pastel blue that looks incredible, so beautiful. I want it so bad. And then there's also a yellow and like a raspberry red type of color, but these are so amazing for pastel liners because they are very pigmented and I don't have to run back and forth 100 times like I did with my Odin's eyeliner to try to build up the color. Just so pigmented and creamy. Some people use these like eyeshadow bases, but I just use them as pencil liners on my waterline and lower lash line. These are incredible and definitely spring staples. Next, I'm surprised I didn't mention this one last year. This is, oh gosh, all rubbed off. I'll have to put the name on the screen. I can't remember right now. This is one of the ColourPop Creme Gel Liners, which you guys know I love the formula. This was from one of the basketball duos, and oh, it's Brickell. That's the name, Brickell. It's a beautiful copper. You guys might know I love coppers in summer and fall. I got a lot of good use out of this past year, and I'm excited to use this, and potentially I might want to pan this. I mean, I don't because it would be gone, but it'd be fun to track that progress, but we'll see. And then one of my favorite liners for winter would be Persona's Plum. This does show up plummy, purpley, but it's also super wearable. I love wearing this to give like a little bit of a smoky effect on my lower lash with more cool toned shadow, and it feels very work appropriate. I love this liner. It stays in place well, and it's a beautiful color. And then for mascara, I will have to write on the screen if there were any other mascaras that I tried for the first time this year that I fell in love with. I feel like there had to have been, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. But I do have a mascara favorite. This is the MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash. I've heard people rave about this for years. I had been able to get this during 21 Days of Beauty. I bought it like 2022, I think, and didn't open it until 2023. And the brush does not look special, and it's really not, but I have very small lower lashes, and it grabs onto them perfectly, and this really is a very nice water resistant mascara, so it just stays in place. I don't have a ton of bleeding, and I have always had really bad bleeding and transfer on my lower lash line, so I stopped putting mascara there years ago, and being able to do it again, I feel like it really just finishes off a look and looks really pretty. So luckily I did get 2 more of these during MAC's Black Friday sale, but it is such a good product, and I feel like it's something that I always want to have. And lastly, we have lip products. I don't have a ton of things here because I was head over heels in love with so many of the lip products that I panned this year, and of course that took up a lot of my time, so definitely check that video to hear some of my faves. So I have 3 Glossy Balms favorites and 2 lip gloss favorites. So first, I don't know how I did not mention these last year. I might have and might not be remembering, but I feel like I checked my video and I did not mention them. But I love the Makeup by Mario Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Serums. I think these are amazing. This was like the first type of product I fell in love with, and I do not like the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip original formula. I only tried a deluxe size sample, but it was too thick and gummy. These don't feel that way. I mean, they're very melty. They can be very messy. A pretty intense menthol type of scent and feeling. If you don't like that, I love it. But I have 3 of the original colors, which have a little bit of shimmer, and then I have 3 of the shade extensions that were just cream. So from the originals, we have Bear Glow, which is a peachy nude, Rose Glow, a really pretty rosy pink. I have a hard time with pinks, and I think this one looks really pretty on me. And then Bronze Glow, really pretty peachy bronze that isn't like too brown. And then from the shade extension, all of these shades are super similar. They basically just have different undertones, but I couldn't choose between them, and I do wear them all. This is Rosewood Glow, Petal Glow, which is a little bit more pink, and Blush Glow, which I want to say is more purple, where Rosewood I think has a little bit more of like a neutral brown. I mean, when I swatch them in my hand, they look a little bit different, but I love all of those. Then a couple months ago, I did finally try out the About Face lip color butters, and I had held off on trying these, waiting for a sale, but also because I knew these had a cherry scent, and I don't like cherry, and it definitely is there, especially when I'm smelling it right now, but I feel like it goes away pretty quickly and it does not bother me. This is a really nice formula, very creamy, glossy, not quite as goopy as the Mario, and these are clicky pens. So the 2 colors I have would be Pamplemousse and Nashi Pear. Definitely let me know if you have other shades that you recommend. And then coming in at the very end of the year, we have the Juvia's Place Volumizing Gloss Sticks. These are very similar to the Mario ones, but these have even more of an intense menthol scent. I almost can taste it and feel it in the back of my throat. So if you don't like menthol, stay away from these. I have other shades I want to try, but the 2 shades I picked would be Rose, again, a pink that I actually like on me. And this is Pink Velvet, which on me is just very peachy, which is so pretty. Then I have my gloss favorites. Buxom had a spring high spirits collection, and I cannot resist Buxom limited edition glosses. So this is the lip polish in Whitney, which actually had a good bit of pigment. And then we have the lip cream in Negroni, again, pinks that I actually liked on my skin tone. And my last two glosses were some shades of the Lawless Forget the Filler lip glosses. I have several of these. This is a really nice formula. This is thicker. It will leave your lips feel a little sticky as it wears off, but it gives such amazing shine. And this summer I did a couple IG reels of different lip swatches in different sort of color categories. A lot of things I ended up panning this year, but the first shade I have was limited edition QVC exclusive, also on their website. This is called Cali Sunset. It's a gorgeous pinky peach shade with shimmer in it, like golden shimmer. Absolutely stunning. And then for more of that popsicle lip look, I have a couple other glosses. Tower 28 XOXO, the Fenty Heat in Hot Cherry, which I loved, but my favorite would be the Lawless Forget the Filler gloss in Cherry Vanilla. This one is cherry scented, and this one is a little bit more pinky with like a hot, warm pink as compared to the others. I want to say Tower 28 went more pink and Fenty went more red. This is a really pretty happy medium. So here are some really messy swatches. We've got the Mario Bare Glow, Rose Glow, Bronze Glow. Then we have Rosewood Petal and Blush. Then I have the two About Face lippies, and you can see these are more pigmented and a little less shiny. Then the two from Juvia's Place, very similar looking to the Mario. I have the Buxom glosses in Whitney and Negroni. I was really impressed with how much pigment the lip polish had. And then Lawless Cali Sunset and Cherry Vanilla. So you guys see the type of formulas I was into. Definitely more of a gloss girl and a glossy lip crayon lipstick type of gal this year. So guys, those are my favorite beauty products that I tried in 2023. Like I said, it's possible I'm forgetting something. If so, I will try to have it in a pinned comment. Make sure you definitely check out my video on the best products that I panned this year, because again, I used up a ton of things and I only mentioned the things in that video that I absolutely fell in love with, want to buy again. So if I didn't do that video, they would be mentioned here. But I would love to hear your thoughts if you've tried these products. I would love to know what your standout favorites were of the year in a comment down below. Next, I'm going to be showing you guys my most disappointing products of 2023. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.